Hello, I'm Pat Murphy, Head of Environment Knowledge Transfer within Teagasc. We organise this conference, the Agri Environmental Conference. It's our annual conference to help look at issues relating to the knowledge transfer and getting the message across, bridging the gap between policy and practice on the ground, policy, research and practice on the ground. So that's the major focus of the conference. At today's conference, we have, I suppose, two main divisions in what we're doing. We're looking at very much a policy and the challenges. And in relation to greenhouse gases, water quality and biodiversity, we're looking, and we have speakers talking about the challenges facing agriculture to achieve the objectives that are being set for us in relation to those three. So Carl Richards looked at the greenhouse gas measures that are the greenhouse gas challenges that face us to address climate change. Helen Sheridan looked at the challenges that we face in relation to biodiversity, and Ger Shortle, head of the Agricultural Catchments Programme, looked at water quality issues and the challenges facing us there. We then are looking at the current CAP reform and the measures that are coming in there and how closely they align with the challenges and how far they can go to meeting those challenges. And the kind of the outcome that we want to see are, okay, people get an understanding that those new policies are focused on the objectives, but also maybe to show if there are areas of gaps where we need more research or where we need to look further at the policies that are in place and how they might be modified in the future. So there's a bit of a future look about, as well as introducing the policy changes, but where do we need to focus a little bit more. The second half of the day is focusing around, I suppose, two areas of research. We have a very high level of research within Teagasc in relation to environmental issues now. It probably takes up about 20% of the total research programme there. And we actually have a lot of research coming out in very near to farm measures that will significantly improve environmental outcomes. For example, there's an accepted wisdom within agriculture that a nitrate form of nitrogen is better than urea, particularly in terms of the use in the mid part of the season, in the summer period, and that urea should not be used in that part of the season. Recent work is showing that that's actually false, that the urea, and particularly when it can be treated with other products, has the capacity to perform as well as can. And that has a major potential saving in terms of cost from the cost of nitrogen, but also urea has a much lower carbon footprint than can. So there's a potential for a massive saving in relation to greenhouse gases from that technology alone. So that's a major issue that's going to face the industry over the next few years, and it looks as if we'll be I suppose introducing a change here today that will be pointed to from the perspective of getting farmers to use urea more than they currently are. There's other areas of research, for instance, some work at Moore Park in relation to some fairly basic agronomic practices have shown significant improvements in groundwater in vulnerable sites, and points to a series of measures that have a practical application for a lot of farmers. So it's that kind of near to farm technology that we're focusing on. The other area that we're looking at, we have a program within Teagasc now looking at techniques for knowledge transfer and getting a message out to farmers. And we have looked at issues like the inclusion of environmental issues in the education program, dealing with cross-compliance with farmers to try and get a better understanding of those issues. So there's a number of papers where we're looking at how better to get our message across to farmers. How do we improve the way we do our jobs so that farmers can more easily implement policy and react to policy and implement changes. So they're the major areas of focus today.